Hey folks, Shanman here, and get ready because Nana's ribeye and slaw grinder is mind blowing. This is in honor of my mother in law who sent me a picture of her making this the other night, and I decided to do my version. First, I'm going to make the dressing for our coleslaw. Add an egg, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. Then we're going to put a little Dijon mustard, the good kind, from France, of course, which ours is from France. My mother-in-law sent it to me, by the way. Then put a little salt in there. Then about 3/4 cup of canola oil for this. If you're making mayonnaise, sometimes I do half canola and half olive oil, but since it's just for this dressing, I just did canola because it doesn't have much flavor and it really is good in this. Use the emulsion blender or your food processor to whip this up into some nice thick mayonnaise and add a teaspoon of celery seed. That's kind of that classic flavor that you get in coleslaw that you're like, what is that flavor? Cut up half a head of cabbage. You can shred it or you can do like I do and just kind of cut it haphazard, however I like. Because honestly, I don't really care. I just like the flavor of it. Then we're going to grate 2 carrots. Watch your fingers. We don't want finger coleslaw. And then mix it around with your dressing that we had earlier. And it should be a perfect amount because I've done this before. And then we're going to add to this the sweetness. My wife likes sugar in her coleslaw, and so do I. So I put a 1/4 cup of sugar in it and a tablespoon of honey. I know you didn't see me do it, but I did do it. I just forgot to take a video of that part. Then get your meat and set it out on your counter. We're going to let this come to room temperature, but before we do, salt it. Now, this salt, my mother in law again sent it to me in a box, and this is also from France. It's special sea salt, and I can tell the difference in the flavor. Okay, no, I really can't, but let's pretend that I can. Anyway, salt it very generously. It's going to do 3 things. 1, it's going to add flavor. 2, it's going to help you sear the meat. And 3, it's going to make that meat nice and wonderfully tender. So don't be afraid to put some salt on it. You see, I put a lot on there. It really needed that much. It has amazing flavor when you do it this way. At the steakhouses, this is what they do. Now they sometimes put other seasoning, but the good places and the good steak that you've had before only has salt on it because the meat should be what is good about the meat. Next, we're going to do this on a stovetop. And when you do, you get your pan smoking. Look at that smoke. Get it as hot as you can. Don't put oil in that pan. You don't need it. The meat is not going to stick to it. Let the meat do the work in the pan. You don't need oil at this point. Put it in there, and then I do each side because my family likes their steak medium well, or sometimes even more well because they're little kids. Anyway, flip it whenever you want to here, but make sure you get a nice sear. That's what that salt's doing. That's what that hot pan is doing. It is getting a nice crust on that. Look at that crust. I want to eat that again right now. Anyway, put 3 tablespoons of butter into the pan at this point, and that butter is going to baste the meat. And to that butter, we're going to add our herbs. Now, that's rosemary and thyme. I never thought that made a difference. I've seen them do it. You see the chefs on TV do it, and you're like, not worth spending an extra $2. It is worth it. It is so good to put that in there. Anyways, let that get nice and charred and baste your meat with it. When the meat comes out, people say let it rest, and this is the thing. I've done a test. I let it rest, and I tasted it, and then I cut it when it was hot, and I ate it. You know what the difference to me was? It was hot when I ate it instead of lukewarm, room temperature. I like my steak hot, so I just cut it right away really quickly there and burn my little hands off. And then get some fresh homemade bread, hoagies that you made earlier in the day or in the week, or buy it at the store and be a loser. But anyway, put some Dijon mustard in there, and then start stacking that steak. Now I would have put more steak on this, but my daughter Katie kept coming in and eating like literally handfuls of it when I wasn't looking. She is one silly little steak eater. We do not eat steak much, but when we do, we love it. I stack that meat on there, and then on top of that, we're going to get our coleslaw that has really gotten to the point of perfection in the fridge for the last few hours. Put that on there. Put it generously on there. It is so, so, so good. I cannot say enough about this sandwich. And thank you to my mother-in-law who had the idea for this sandwich the other night, sent me the picture, and I hope mine is half as good as the one that she made. And I think my family, I mean, honestly, this got eaten so fast, I could not even take a good picture of this for you. Okay? So I cut it, and then 1 second later, I'm like, where'd the sandwich go? And then I realized it was in my tummy. But here's the best picture I got of it. You enjoy this recipe and enjoy this sandwich. Subscribe to our channel and enjoy it.